Hello friends. So today I'm going to explain you what is the difference between waterfall and agile model. So before going to that, let me explain you what is software development life cycle. So software development life cycle is nothing but in this we are going to follow some 6 phases to ensure that we are delivering a quality product to the client. So as you can see here, I have mentioned the 6 phases like requirement gathering, system designing, coding, testing, deploying and maintenance. So you need to know what is the meaning of what exactly we are doing in requirement gathering. In requirement gathering phase, business analyst is going to document all the requirements whatever a client needs. So once he creates the business requirement document, then system analysts, system architects are going to design the application. A high level application is designed in this phase. So once that is done, now coders are going to develop an application. They are going to code an application by using the programming languages. Now after that, now testers needs to test the software. They need to ensure that there are no defects. There should be no defects, or you can also call bugs. Now after this phase, deployment phase. In this deployment phase, we are going to deliver a quality product to the client. After that, in maintenance phase is nothing but a warranty period. In this warranty period, if suppose clients are finding any defects in the software, then we are going to, as a software development company, we are going to fix those defects without charging anything. We are going to fix it in free of cost. So this is what happening in all these 6 phases. Okay, now let us understand what is waterfall model. So waterfall is nothing but once the requirement gathering is done, now we are also in system designing phase. That means now we are not going to change the requirements. Now requirements are freezed here. Now coders are going to developers are going to develop an application. Now if suppose client want any changes, then it is not feasible in this model. Why? Because when we are in one phase, we are not going to look back. When we are in coding phase, we are not discussing about testing. When we are in testing phase, we are not going to discuss about any other phase. Okay, so that is the reason it is called linear and sequential approach, where changes are not allowed. So it is not feasible to accommodate any new requirements after freezing the requirements, after taking the requirements from the client. Again, we are not going to make any changes in the development. So this is a big disadvantage, right? Now maybe in the coding phase or testing phase, client may change his mind. He may wants to add some new functionalities in an application. But when we say no, it will be very disappointing for them, right? So definitely waterfall model has a big disadvantage, as we are not accommodating any new changes in the middle of the software development process. So now let us see what is agile. Agile, we call agile as a flexible. Why? Because changes are allowed. If suppose client is coming in the coding phase or testing phase and giving some new requirements, we are definitely going to accept those requirements. Of course, there is some process to do that, but yes, we are going to accept those requirements. That is the reason agile is flexible, and this is a big advantage of this agile methodology. And why it is called iterative and incremental approach, this is very important to understand. Now what is iterative? So before explaining you what is iterative, let me tell you that in agile methodology there is something called sprint. Sprint is nothing but it is a short period of time, say 2 weeks. Some company has a 2-week sprint, Some company has 3 week sprint. It varies from company to company. So in this short period of time, we are going to prioritize the requirements. Like we are going to take only 10 requirements out of 30. Now we need to uh, code these requirements, we need to test, and we need to deploy. So out of 30, we have taken only 10 requirements and we are coding that, we are testing that, and we are deploying it. Now after the deployment, now clients are going to give us some feedback on the ready software. If suppose there are any errors, then again we are going to fix it. Now again what's happening after that, again a new sprint starts. Like say, now assume that this is sprint 1. Now in sprint 2 again we are going to select 10 requirements. Okay, now again we are going to code those requirements, we are going to test, we are going to deploy. After that, again in the third sprint, again we are selecting 10 requirements and the process is continuing, coding, testing, and deploying. So you can see we are repeating the cycle. So repeating this cycle is called iterative approach. Okay, so in this way what's happening, we are not delivering the software to the client at the end of the software development life cycle. We are breaking the project in parts, and we are developing it and we are giving it to the client so that they don't have to wait for 1 year or 2 years to complete the project. The important functionalities of an application we can build and we can give it to them in sprints. So this is the biggest advantage of the agile methodology, and that is the reason 99% of the companies are following agile nowadays. Okay, hope you got it now, what is waterfall and what is agile and what is the major difference. There are also some other minor differences, but this is the major difference between waterfall and agile. Now in interview, if your interviewer is asking you what is the difference between agile and waterfall model, this is how you can answer so that it gives a good impression. Agile is flexible and allows changes throughout the process. Agile projects are delivered in iterative and incremental approach with frequent releases. Frequent releases means like in sprints. That is in sprint wise. Okay. Now waterfall is linear and sequential approach. Linear and sequential means one by one. That is in order. Waterfall is in linear and sequential approach where phases are completed in order. It is suitable only for well-defined requirements so that there won't be many changes during the course. So this is how you can answer. And if suppose you need to just answer what is agile, then this way you can answer: agile is an approach where we use Scrum methodology to break down projects into smaller tasks, prioritize and develop them over sprints in an incremental and iterative model. This helps team to work together and communicate regularly. If you answer this way, definitely interviewer is going to get impressed because he or she thinks you know what is agile. Now when it comes to waterfall model, you can answer this way: waterfall is a linear and sequential approach where phases are completed in order. It is suitable only for well-defined requirements so that there won't be many changes during the course. Okay, so this is what also mentioned here. Fine. So I hope you understood what is the difference between agile and waterfall. And in my upcoming video, I'm going to discuss more about sprint and user stories, and what is Scrum methodology. I'm going to discuss about these three things which are very important in the agile process. So if you feel that this video is very helpful to you, then please hit subscribe and bell icon so that you will be getting notified whenever I'm posting a new video, and it also motivates me. Thank you so much, and wait for my another videos. Thank you.